Channel Combat 2020 for online teaching of MBBS students. I hope you're fine and think of health. Today we'll be starting blog posting classes as soon, so we should know about the clinical social. So coming to the individual clinical social case format, we'll be covering antenatal case, postnatal case, and under 5 case. What is the basis of antenatal care and postnatal care is based on the reproductive child health continuum of care concept. What is that? If there is an adolescent, healthy adolescent, there will be an healthy antenatal care, antenatal mother, and a postnatal period and the postnatal mother, and there will be a newborn who will be healthy, and there will be an under 5 child who will be healthy, who in fact will be a healthy adolescent. So our continuum of care is for in this cases is for every part of the life of the woman. Before before going into the details of the history taking, you should read Shaw's textbook of gynecology and the at least the history taking part in this is the textbook of obstetrics and gynecology. Most of you should have read about the stages of labor as well as the how to take antenatal care of the woman. What is our aim in antenatal care? It is an antenatal care. It is the care of women during pregnancy. What is our aim? It is at the end of the pregnancy, a healthy mother and a healthy baby, and with all these objectives. Okay. What we want is a healthy family at last at the end of the antenatal. So we start with the case format. I think ask the name, the age, the religion, occupation, and address. The age is important because, as you know, more than 35 years or in multi-gravid patients, the risk of pregnancy increases. So this is important for you. The occupation is important in this case because if the woman is employed, she can better fend of herself with the availability of money. She has make a better socio-economic status, and she can get delivered in high quality care hospitals. The obstetric code, gravida parity, motion, living and dead. The last menstrual period, which you should always ask, is it's important for know the expected date of delivery, called as the EDD. So how we calculate the EDD? The EDD is calculated by adding 9 months and 7 days to the last menstrual period. If the woman doesn't know the last menstrual period, you should ask him where was the last menstrual cycle, where it corresponds to whether the seasons or any festivals. Registration is done on yes in most of India's today. We have 100% or 95% registration is done. At what gestational age was the pregnancy registered? So how fast is important? So as normally as soon as she comes to know that she is pregnant, she should register herself in any hospital which is nearing her center. So where was the pregnancy registered? Whether it is in any PSC, Taluka medical office, or Taluka office, or Taluka hospital, or a district hospital, or tertiary care institute. Complaints if she had any present confinement, history of present pregnancy. So she had a history of pregnancy from the first trimester. So that she had a history of morning sickness, which is much more common in first pregnancy in the first trimester. Is a history of increased frequency of micturition, which happens during the condition, and there is increased fluctuation noted in this woman. History of fatigue, they will start feeling fatigue as anemia sets in, and history of white discharge per vagina. You have to inquire whether it is really foul smelling, cardio white discharge. It will be a diagnosis of candida or just leukorrhea. History of headache, blurring of vision, leg swelling is important for us to know. These are the signs of preeclampsia. History of palpitations, chest pain, difficulty in breathing for cardiovascular disease. History of yellowish discoloration of skin and mucous membranes for jaundice. History of draining or bleeding per vagina. If occurs in the first trimester, it shows sort of indication of abortion, or that is why we need to explore all this. Asking this history is important also the patients, because most patients can sometimes live with missed abortions. History of burning, micturition, and fever for urinary tract infection. History of iron folic acid intake, which is an important part of the treatment part. History of tetanus toxoid injections. Whether she had received 2 tetanus toxoid injections. He was in 4 weeks apart. And history of exanthematous fever is important because Rubella. What we are concerned here is the rubella. If the woman is suffering from rubella during her first pregnancy, then there is a high chance that the child will be born with congenital rubella syndrome. That is why the history of exanthemus fever should be asked. She should be asked whether she has been vaccinated with measles rubella vaccine. Presently in India, each of us have been vaccinated against rubella. History of specific drug intake, which can affect the growth of the fetus inside, like thalidomide, which can lead to very disastrous consequences. Or not only that, history of exposures to X-rays during the first trimester of pregnancy can cause disastrous consequences. So this history should be very clear for go to second trimester, where the history of quickening, which we start feeling by 16 weeks, history of iron folic acid intake, history of tetanus toxoid injection. I told you. See, if the woman is delivered in 3 years, is delivering the second child in 3 years, she need to take only one tetanus toxoid injection. If she is more than 3 years, need to deliver she need to have two tetanus toxoid injections. History of vomiting, history of white discharge per vagina, lack of orientation, easy fatigability, headache, blurring of vision, and swelling. Which I told you about preeclampsia. History of palpitation, chest pain, difficulty in breathing, cardiovascular in cardiovascular disease. So the history of discoloration of skin and mucous membrane, history of draining or vagina or bleeding for vagina. Same thing, burning of mucilation fever, xanthellus fever, and so coming to third trimester, there are some specific symptoms which can happen during this first trimester, and which we should be concerned is the progression of headache, blurring of vision, leg swelling, and convulsions, which we should be focused on because they are giving indicators towards preeclampsia or raised blood pressure. Some symptoms, which, for example, sometimes the woman can sometimes present to you with suddenly congestive heart failure because she has never been diagnosed in childhood, and suddenly, because pregnancy is a hyperdynamic state, she can directly present in the emergency with congestive cardiac failure. Then we'll come to know, oh, she has got a heart disease or a rheumatic heart disease. Sometimes it has happened many times that patients in pregnancy have presented in 32 weeks with congestive heart failure. Elastic sclerosis muscular, which I told you about, jaundice in pregnancy, the training of breathing, and fever. History of previous pregnancy should be asked whether there's previous miscarriages. So recurrent abortions will give an important indication. Recurrent abortions will give you an indication that if the indications which more be of genetic causes, and secondly, if there is recurrent miscarriages happening after the stage of viability or 28 weeks, something called as incompetence. If she is coming at 32 weeks and she has premature labor, whereas the irritation of the cervix, it can lead to premature labor, so that can need to be corrected. Complications during pregnancy, the outcome of the previous pregnancies, whether she went into postpartum hemorrhage or was there the prolonged labor, what was the outcome of the pregnancy. Then the place of delivery, type of delivery, full term, normal vaginal delivery, or cesarean section, or instrumentation delivery by forceps or by suction. Time, the place of the delivery was in this important because whether the delivery was in PSC, whether it was done in a district hospital or tertiary care institute. Personal connected deliveries are not just connected by trained eyes or untrained eyes. Untrained eyes are very less common in India today. Well, trained delivery by trained personnel is important to prevent maternal mortality. Gender of the baby and the birth weight which is born, complications during the interpartum period, postpartum problems, complications in the mother and you need to also ask about the medical, the surgical history she has, the drug histories of the allergy, menstrual history at age of the menarche started, age of the menarche, duration of each cycle, regular cycles, irregular cycles, the best ways to ask is 13 it is a 28-day cycle with 3 to 4 days of flow, which is moderate flow with no positive clots. Marital history, the age of marriage. So age of marriage is important to know the fertility in the what is the consanguinity, when she married a first degree relative or secondary relative, and the contraceptive methods. So what is more important focus here is whether the pregnancy was planned. That will give an idea whether it will give an idea about the Prevalence of the contraceptive rates among family history, the hereditary disorders, hypertension, diabetes mellitus, twins or congenital malformations. Personal history, smoking, alcohol and drug misuse. Particles of the family members, socioeconomic condition, housing and environment. This, as we had discussed in the previous lectures on clinical general clinical social quiz format, that should be coming to the general examination. The build of the patient, the height, the weight should be taken. That's important to know because in a way height which is less than 145 centimeters is the woman cannot deliver. Can lead to cephalopedia disproportion and she cannot deliver. Weight should be more than 50 kgs. Usually after 50 kgs, the normal weight of the woman she gains 9 to 11 kgs. So you should appropriately measure the weight during each trimester and each visit as she comes. Nourishment, conscious, whether she is conscious, oriented in time, place, in person, febrile or febrile, pallor, ear edema, thyroid enlargement present, breast enlargement, vitals, pulse, BP, temperature, respiratory rate. Regardless of saying this, the students should follow the practices which they use. The pulse, which I told you the last time, they should describe the pulse as a whole, not just describe pulse as 60 beats per minute, 80 beats per minute. They should describe pulse 80 beats per minute, night time, supine position, normal volume, no radiofibrillar delay, no character. Okay, that is a sign of good student. Inspection is an important part. Knowing the fundamental height corresponds to the age of gestation, the abdominal scars, striae, gavidae, striae, linea nigra. Is there edema present? Looking at the palpation, semiphysiofundal height, it takes time for you to master all this grips. It will take your time for you to come to know which is what is the present part, how does the head feel. So that is why you should see a lot of patients who should palpate. So you will be able to find out what is the lie of the patient. The fundal grip, the lateral or the umbilical grip, or the grip and the pelvic grip. You should read about this all the grips in Shaw's or Datta. Okay. Auscultation for the fetal heart sound. While you're finishing the case study, you will finish as case summary, the diagnosis, management at the individual, family, and community level, and the levels of prevention for anemia, PIH, or gestational diabetes, or any other associated complications. Datta has given each and every for every complication in anemia. Datta has given a very good uh, chapter-wise detailed explanation of how to manage each and every case. So that is why I told you you read from Park also the antenatal case and also from Datta how to manage each of this. Coming to the what is different in the postnatal case is the same, but you also need to add the place of delivery, the type of delivery, the person who conducted the delivery, the complications the mother had in during the third stage of postpartum, like postpartum hemorrhage, fever, parental infection, thrombophlebitis, and at the I check for the adequacy of breastfeed. This is important. Some women will not be able to feed, and whether you inquire whether there is a there are baby-friendly hospitals. Did nurses there or other supporting staff help in decision of breastfeeding? Baby, this is important, and most important, you should also ask when was the breastfeeding started. So half an hour of giving birth, or 4 hours of a cesarean section. Baby. For the baby, you should ask the gender and the birth weight of the child. When the baby cried, the time interval between the birth and the passage of meconium and urine, any predactyls which were given to the baby, whether any complications in the baby, immunization details of the child, what immunizations he received. Usually, you receive in the 15 days BCG, anthropometric examination for the length of the child, the weight of the child, and the head circumference. Should take. Try we should try to do sucking of the rooting reflex for the child. Usually it is very well developed after 36 weeks. So in premature deliveries it is not well developed. It helps in knowing whether the premature baby or not. Students should learn this sucking and rooting reflex is very well discovered in uh, the pediatric OP guide. Examination of newborn is an essential part of the postnatal case and it should not be missed because we believe that the mother and child is a one complete unit. So if you miss the examination of the child, there will be severe repercussions on you. You may be failed in the examination if you do not examine the child. Okay, that's why always be friendly with the mother, so she can let you examine the child. Okay. Coming to the clinical social case form and same thing, who is the informant complications in the antenatal natal period for the mother and the postnatal complications for the mother and the child. Detailed postnatal history should be taken and should be able to describe earlier the type, days of delivery, personal connected delivery, the gender of the baby and the birth weight, postnatal complications, breastfeeding, during initiation and duration, for how many months the breastfeeding was done, and when did the complementary feed start. So usually breastfeeding we give we give exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months. So after that we start complementary feeding. So diet history of the child should be maintained. Most of the under 5 children will be registered in a nearby Anganwadi center where they will receiving one third of the calorie intake. You should ask about that. Initiation of the complementary feeds, what date was that, and immunization, the primary and the secondary immunization. Primary immunization should always ask about all the doses starting from the zero from the birth till the 1 year of age, what doses they have got, and followed by the booster doses. The milestones, the motor milestones, the social skills which the child develop, you should be asking. That is why you should refer OPGI for this. And the anthropometric examination, very important part. In general examination, you should mention anthropometric examination of the height, the length of the baby, the weight, and most importantly, mid upper arm circumference. If you do not have a Shapki's tape, you can use a normal tape for measuring of the mid upper arm circumference. This is a very good indicator of the nutrition condition of the child, the chest and the head circumference of the child. So subscribe to the channel for updates on combat working. Thank you for these tips.